Today's Expert Process Podcast. Do you know that it takes 10,000 hours to master any subject? Welcome to the Expert Process Podcast, where we cut the time to mastery in half with our seasoned pros. And now, from Atlanta, Georgia, broadcasting worldwide. Here's your resident expert, Durante Smith.
Okay, guys, I'm back again. Durante Smith here, the Expert Process Podcast. Look, this is amazing. These guys won. Which one? Four Kidscreen Awards last night. What I want to do is I want to let you guys know what my new friend is doing, and then I'll let him tell his story. Okay, please share with us what you got going on.
Right. So hi guys. I am Munjal Shroff, co-founder of Graphiti Studios, and I'm the co-creator of the show Deepa and Anoop, which is a Netflix original and produced by Mattel.
So I would say this. The thing I look at is, how did you create your job? Because you're the creator of the property,
Yes.
right? Is you and another guy?
Yeah, me and Lisa Goldman and
Lisa.
Heather Kenyon. The three of us, we are co-creators
Got
of the show.
So explain that process. How did you start? Like, what was your origin story?
Yeah. So well, what happened is that, Lisa Goldman, my friend and my co-creator, she came down to India, actually.
Okay.
Lisa is a brilliant writer,
Okay.
and we were having Graphiti School of Animation.
Okay.
And we wanted to basically, create an ecosystem of good writers.
Okay.
And we thought
In India.
in India,
Okay.
yes, in India, and we thought Lisa would be phenomenal to have.
Okay.
So we did a workshop with her. So
Okay.
she came down and she did a workshop with her, and then when she came down, she was also on the jury of the Mumbai International Film Festival.
Oh, so this was in Mumbai.
This was in Mumbai.
Oh, very good.
So my studio is in Mumbai.
Oh, okay.
It's called Graphiti, and then while she was there for almost about, I think, 10 days.
Okay.
Right? And so during that time, we had just finished our show called Jai Bole To Jadoo, which was with Nickelodeon, co-production with Nickelodeon. It's one of the first properties that Nick did in India.
Okay. What was it called again?
Jai Bole To Jadoo.
Okay. Now, was
That
that?
means Jadoo means magic.
Oh,
And it was from a movie called Koi Mil Gaya, which was, that movie was about an alien character and how it's sort of like an E.T. kind of a movie.
okay.
But that character became hugely popular with kids. So what we did is we got the license to that character, and we produced a show called Jai Bole To Jadoo, which was
So you guys went and got the license for that character.
yeah. So
Oh, wow.
so that was a show with Nick,
Okay.
and we were already doing it. We realized that obviously Bollywood is obviously big in India, right?
That's right.
But it was interesting that when Lisa came down and she saw the page 3 of the national daily called Times,
Okay.
and she says, "Wow!" So, and that had a color spread,
Okay.
which basically had pictures of Bollywood stars
Sure.
and their parties, celebrity
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah.
And she says, "Wow, this is such a colorful vibe."
Uh-huh.
And then obviously I told her about Bollywood, the music.
Sure.
Exposed her to all the wonderful Bollywood movies,
Oh, wow.
and she just fell in love with.
Oh, of course.
And she said, "Hey, why don't we do something?" And I was very keen on doing a show for the international market.
That's right.
But let's jam up. Let's
Love it.
let's bouncing ideas, and said that let's create something.
I love it.
And that's when we originally came up with an idea. The show back then was called Dimple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then when we did that, and we started developing the show for a while, and started designing the characters. So she did the birds, we did the visuals.
Okay.
We started creating the world. So back then we basically the grandparents of our lead character Dimple.
Dimple.
Now she's called Deepa.
Deepa.
Yeah.
Oh, so Dimple is Deepa. You just changed the name.
Yes. So originally she was called Dimple, but now
Okay.
she's called Deepa.
Well, what was the change? What was the reason for the change?
I think it was because we wanted an easier name. Also, we wanted to make sure that the name is clear.
Sure.
There are no
Sure.
overlaps with other characters
Sure.
out there. And we felt Deepa was unique.
Got it.
So
That makes
So yeah, so what we did is we started working on that whole idea, and then originally Deepa's grandparents were basically Bollywood stars,
Okay.
and they and all of that, and they used to run a Bollywood dance studio.
Oh, okay.
And
So this is the story, right? This is the backstory to the character.
story, but
people don't understand how developed the story has to be, right?
yeah,
But this, okay, guys, I hate to interrupt, but we have to understand this. You're talking to an award winner, 4-time, it may probably more than that, honestly. But if he's not, these guys are short. These are the type of guys here that when you can see at the Oscars, he'll walk up and he had his team of, and they're going to be thanking everybody. And I hope he just waves at me in the back. Okay. So we met. But the point is I want you guys to understand how much thought goes into developing the story, developing the characters, developing the character arcs, to even considering the names, because all of that matters. Doesn't it, guys?
Yeah. I think it's, for us with Deepa and Anoop, it's been such a long journey. And then obviously once we started pitching out, we got a lot of good feedback.
Yes.
Incorporated that. And obviously, I think it's a tough line, right? How much do you absorb that feedback and how much do you correct?
Right.
And it's very important to not lose your voice.
Right.
That what you set out to create, sometimes, if everyone will have a point of view on your show. Does that sit well with you? Does it still sit with your original vision?
Right.
And is that helping the property, or is it, one of the challenges that people that, we want the show to be more like this. Oh, Peppa is very successful. So everyone's another Peppa. But the point is, there is already a Peppa.
There's already Peppa.
So there's no point creating another one.
That's right.
So I think.
Or knockoff.
Yeah. So we wanted to create something unique. And we thought that with the whole India experience and Bollywood, we thought we had a culture. Yeah. So we thought we had a great angle with that.
That's right.
And we stayed true to that, and then obviously, as we started developing and we got a lot of good response, we realized that we needed to get someone who has a lot of experience in shows. And that's where we pulled in our friend Heather Kenyon. Heather is
she a showrunner?
Yeah, she was vice president development for Cartoon Network.
Okay, yeah.
So, extremely well connected.
Sure.
We love her. I've known Heather for more than 20 years.
Wow.
So we were friends.
Sure. Exactly.
Before we started becoming partners.
Exactly.
And so it was amazing. So she came in and we had a look at it, and then we started tweaking the
Yes.
But I think what was great is that she got it and immediately, and she fell in love with the show as well.
Sure.
And then we worked out a plan with her that who are the guys we want to talk to, right? And I think one of the names obviously was Mattel, because Mattel, is such a big name in the business.
Right.
And I think when we were designing our show, we were very clear that at some point we would want it to be in licensing and merchandising and all that. And I said, Mattel's such a great partner.
Yeah.
So we met.
But let me ask you this real quick before we go there. With Mattel, were you guys still independent? Were you still independently produced? Or had you already gotten with a bigger studio? What was that before?
Yeah, see, my studio, Graphiti, basically did all the visuals. We did the original 1 minute short, which was created, and that was part of the pitch to Netflix.
So this started as a short.
Yeah.
Oh,
see, I think with any show, it's very important for people to see, right? This is one thing, the visuals.
Yes.
There is one thing to see character design on paper.
That's right.
You see synopsis.
That's it moving.
Yeah, but
especially for animation.
We are in the business of animation.
Yes, especially
people want to see. People want to get a taste of what's it going to look. How are these characters? How are they going to move? What does it look like, and all of that. So what we did is once Mattel came on board, and then we started developing some of these things, and we realized that. And things changed, right? So one of the things that we decided is to bring in the whole, Mango Manor, which is basically where the show is now based, which is Deepa's family. Deepa and Anoop, they are like, self-appointed concierges of Mango Manor, which is the hotel that the family runs.
Yeah,
it's lovely. And Deepa's best buddy and friend is Anoop, which is a color-changing elephant.
Okay.
And Anoop in Hindi means unique.
Okay.
Right?
Love it.
So here's a 150-pound elephant which changes color based on his emotion. And he's Deepa's partner in crime on everything she does. And he's always there for her. Right. And these guys, I think in India we have a philosophy which basically means Atiti Devo Bhava, which means treat your guest as God.
Oh, love that.
That was the whole philosophy behind everyone who came to Mango Manor, that both these characters, they always wanted their guests to feel special, comfortable, and they would obviously go out of their way to make these guests comfortable. Sometimes, I think they would get too enthusiastic, and that's when things would go a little wrong. But that's the whole point of the show.
That's the point.
In their innocence,
we have to have that.
In their innocence,
that's the conflict, right? That's the conflict.
Yeah, that's the conflict. So. And then I think the other interesting thing is that when we were creating this show, I think we were very sensitive about a couple of points. One is we wanted the Indianness to be just enough and not go over the top, because it can be an overdose, right? I mean, how much is too much?
How much is too much?
Yeah. So that was an important thing. Also,
So what was that discussion like? Did you guys bring in like a consultant or like, because I know a lot of people
because I am from India, right? So I knew, and then obviously having worked internationally with so many other creators, obviously we watch a lot of stuff that's happening in the world. So we knew, at least I had a very good sense of, where it needed to be. And obviously once we were in production, we did bring in external consultants, cultural consultants as well. But I think as a creator, we had a very good sense of where we wanted it to be.
Sure.
Right. And right from voice casting, like typically there are two things when you talk about Indian characters or the way Indians are portrayed. There's a very strong North Indian bias or there's a very strong South Indian bias. So I'll give you an example. So when you talk about South Indian bias, it's Apu from Simpsons.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's like the stereotypical image of India.
Yes.
But India is such a vast country. There's so many different languages, different cultures.
Sure.
But even the way people look, there's a whole variety, right? So we wanted to make sure that the characters are interesting, and they represent India.
Sure.
And not get overtly biased on one side.
Sure.
So we were very sensitive, even the names that we chose for our characters, or family. So we were very sensitive about that. Or the way Deepa, for example, addresses her grandmother as Nani ji.
Okay.
Right? It's a Hindi word, but it's a very universal word.
Okay.
Right? So in many different languages within India, people refer to their grandmother as Nani.
Oh, see.
Right? So I think these are some of these considerations that we kept. The other thing is music, right? So
music, yes.
Which is such a huge part of the show, and we won the best music, for our show.
Yes.
So
that was one of the 4 awards that you won.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think that's such a huge validation for us that what we set out to do, we got, and obviously we got recognized for it. And I think Daniel Ingram, the music producer, did such a fabulous job. And I think again there, what happened is that when we were developing the sound of the show, right? One of the things I was very clear about that I didn't want the show to be, again, become stereotypical. So like a lot of Indian music, there are 2 instruments that people want to say this is Indian, which is sitar, namnan.
Yes.
Right. But again, even with music, right, there's such a wide variety of instruments.
Very much so.
All of that. For example, the grandmother, she plays an instrument called veena.
Okay.
It's a string. It looks like sitar, but sounds very different.
Okay.
Right. So we consciously said that let's give people a taste of India, which is a little different from what we are normally used to. So there's depth. There's something fresh in the show.
Sure. Especially kids.
Yeah. Because I think it's otherwise it's like, oh, I've seen that. That sounds
familiar. Yes.
We don't want that. We wanted it to stay fresh.
Yes.
Right, for the audiences. So which is where we even on the music. So what we did is so when we were discussing music, I said these while sure we can use sitar and tabla, but there's so much more within that repertoire of music. Right. We have so many different styles of music.
Sure.
Right. And then we set out a different set of instruments that these are the kind of instruments we should be using.
Yeah.
Then I compiled a list of about 13 songs.
Okay.
Bollywood songs.
Sure.
So Daniel and his team could hear them.
Okay.
I said, hey, this is Bollywood music.
Okay.
This is what you need to understand.
Right.
So there are elements which kind of people get a sense that yes, this is Bollywood music because Bollywood music is very peppy.
Yes.
Very dance music.
Yes.
Right. But it's not EDM.
Okay.
Right. So it has its own flavor, but there may be elements of that because it's also very contemporary.
That's right.
We have a lot of influences from different music.
That's right.
Right. So looking at all that, and I think, honestly, I think once Danny heard that, and obviously after a series of discussions, he got it.
Got it.
Because every episode of Deepa and Anoop, has a song.
Yeah, this is your music supervisor.
Yeah. So he's
the music producer. Okay.
Yeah. So within the 11-minute episode, there's almost like a 1-minute segment, which is where the comes in as a song and dance to solve the problem.
Sure.
So she kind of says, "Hey, this is the problem, and this is how we're gonna solve it."
Right? Yeah.
And that's again something unique about the show.
Yeah.
Right. Not many shows have this.
Yeah.
Right.
Tie the music tie-in.
And it. I mean, that's
the music cue actually, because when it happens, this is music cue, then you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So the kids know, they know.
They know to expect that. Okay, that's how things are gonna get resolved, right? And then again, even the treatment for that 1 minute, it's very fantastical.
Sure.
So one of the things with again, the inspiration for that came from Bollywood.
Okay.
So a lot of the Bollywood songs, in our feature
They're
films,
big.
they are big.
Big.
They are fantastically.
Yes.
They take you literally in an imaginary place.
It's really about imagination.
Yeah.
Wherever your imagination can go, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the wildest stuff you might be like, where did that come from? But it's so, guys, if you have not followed Bollywood films, what would you recommend? Recommend two. Oh my God. This but recommend two.
Well, there are so many. So the latest one is RRR, which just won the Golden Globe.
Okay.
There are so many. There are movies called Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak, Sholay. Oh, I can go on.
Yeah.
There are because I think the Indian movie industry is pretty massive.
Yeah.
We produce hundreds of films every year.
More than that, probably. I mean, you guys do actually more than
that. Yeah. If you consider things, we might probably be putting out almost 1,000 films a year.
I was about to say, yes, I think it's close to 1,000.
Because within India, we have the Bollywood, which is more prominent, but then we also have, cinema from Southern India.
Yes.
Where we are from Kerala, from basically Chennai, so different parts of the country.
Okay.
And now, I think it's exploding because people are discovering cinema from different parts of India, which were traditionally not known for news.
Okay.
So news stories, there are lots of wonderful stories coming out from the heartlands of India, which are amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of web shows which are coming out, which are very unique.
Sure.
Right. So people.
So what is causing that explosion? Is it, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming that because technology has made it so efficient to be able to shoot on your iPhones and stuff like that, people are taking advantage of the web, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's become a lot easier.
Okay.
Sure. I don't think that. I think the whole transition came when we moved from film to HD.
Right.
Because suddenly stock was earlier very expensive.
Sure.
Right. And suddenly when you're shooting digital, there's no stock.
Yeah, from analog to digital. Yes.
Because back in the day, it was very difficult to get stock. It's expensive.
Yes.
I mean, so not everybody could afford it.
Then you got the cutting and all that stuff. Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah, and the whole process, right? I mean, we did
incredibly.
I've edited films on Steinbeck, which is a film editor, right? But now you can edit on a laptop, on a phone.
Edit on your phone.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible.
We're shooting this
on iPhone. Shooting on iPhone 13. Hey, thank you so much. Max Pro. There you go.
So I think a lot of that is number one. Two, I think is the reach. So I think with YouTube and all the I think that's honestly democratized content.
Most of them.
Yeah.
And you say that's even in India where there's not as much. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The internet in certain areas is not as connected and stuff like that. Like outside the city.
No, I would correct you there. That we have a phenomenal reach of mobile network in India.
Really?
We are pretty much in every corner of the country you get 4G.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think what happened is when we adopted mobile technology, we literally went straight from 2G to 4G.
Okay.
So a lot of the villages, in India and small towns in India, they never experienced 3G. They went straight from
right.
Oh, that's interesting. And I think one of the reasons why Netflix became popular in India is also because of 4G.
Okay.
Like one of the Indian companies, Jio, when they launched 4G, they had an amazing reach.
Right.
So suddenly, people sitting in even the remotest part of India could access a Netflix subscription or an Amazon,
right.
or YouTube.